So we finally come to a possible end to the rollercoaster sedition ride that has kept us guessing from Prime Minister Najib's 2012 proclamation of its abolishment to the proof today that such promises are not worth their salt. His deputy subsequently said that repealing the Sedition Act 1948 was not just empty talk in bringing about political transformation. That was in July 2012. Specifically, since the last hotly contested 2013 general elections, there have been 63 sedition investigation papers opened up against members of parliament, activists, lawyers, academicians and others. And the Inter-Parliamentary Union noted most of these investigations in their latest assembly in Vietnam and included the names of members of parliament affected. The removal of court power for bail to the public prosecutor is a shifting of power from the court to the public prosecutor, which is a government appointee. This is a direct attack to the separation of powers and an affront to the judiciary. We cannot tolerate excessive powers to be granted to the executive via previously POTA, Prevention of Terrorism Act, and now the Unconstitutional Sedition Act 1948. Today, we Pakatan Rakyat members of parliament are again caught by surprise for the second time following the POTA ordeal last night. Now, these new amendments include a mandatory jail sentence of between 3 to 7 years, a new offence of causing bodily injury or property damage with a mandatory jail sentence between 5 minimum to 20 years maximum. It is an unbailable offence which is going to be decided by the public prosecutor and not the courts. Travel documents, passports to be seized at the request of the public prosecutor and not at the discretion of the courts. Although the government mentioned the sub-clause to bring into hatred and contempt or exciting disaffection against the government is no longer considered an offence, and the amendment will also decriminalise criticism on the administration of justice, deleting Section 3(1)(c) of the Act. The new proposed amendments is still wide enough where anything can still be considered seditious. And any amendment that allows for rejection of bail, if certified by the AG, are nothing short of pernicious. In sum, we not only reject these amendments, we reject the Sedition Act in entirety. Now, the Sedition Act has outlived its colonial purpose and must be repealed. Other laws, including the Penal Code, we have sufficient laws, are adequate to deal with any real threats. We demand that all charges and investigations under sedition, especially against members of parliament who are speaking out on behalf of the rakyat, are dropped immediately. Politically charged persecutions against academicians and other activists should also be dropped, especially when the constitutionality of the law itself is being questioned. I think principally you have to understand one thing. I mentioned the roller coaster sedition ride that we've gone through. The position from the beginning is we have to abolish this law. It has been abused. It's a relic of our colonial past, and we have sufficient safeguards with regards to other laws that exist in the country. So that's the one position. And secondly, where's the engagement before they came up with such amendments? It's just bulldozing after bulldozing of bills. And we as stakeholders, not only as members of parliament from the opposition, but as victims. I think the media also have been victims. I mean, you as stakeholders must rightly be consulted before anything has been decided by the executive of the day. So I think on the reasons highlighted, it's insufficient. You give such concession. It's not even a concession. It's tantamount to an insult to the rights of all Malaysians in this country. So we'll not accept it, and the Prime Minister must be responsible. He can't keep silent anymore as his minions do the job in Parliament.